Hello and welcome to this edition of Ringside Digest. I'm your host Kirk Day, along with my co-hosts Noah Byrne and Nick Miller. And today we've got a few trades to go over that involved some pretty big names yesterday that seemed to be sunken in all the madness that was the trades yesterday and the Patrick Kane trade. But I think they're some pretty good trades that I think we should go over and discuss. There's a lot to go about. But first, in our first story, we have a new signing that just happened, a new extension. So Dylan Larkin signs an extension with the Red Wings. And that came probably about 20 minutes ago from Elliot Friedman. It says Larkin is signing an 8x8.7 in Detroit. Now, I think this is a phenomenal signing for extension for Detroit. He's your number one guy. You want to lock him up. There was rumors about him being traded. I didn't think that was a good idea. They have something good cooking, and I think that it was wise to keep him because, I mean, he's your number one center, of course. And he got 57 points in 59 games this year. He's almost point per game. He's playing fantastic. So, especially on a Detroit team that's still not there yet, but they're pretty close. There's no signing bonus on it, but, I mean, I think Dylan Larkin's trying to stay with the team because he knows they have something good coming. So, what do you think about the extension, Noah?
Phenomenal contract. Like you got your face of franchise locked up there. I think a big factor was kind of what Bo Horvat signed over there in New York. You know, they're roughly the same kind of player. I mean, Bo Horvat probably scores a little bit more, but I think they're roughly the same player, and I think they're in the same ballpark in the terms of AAV.
Basically just the fact that you got your number one center and your captain locked up long term. Some stability down the middle in Detroit for the first time in a long time. I mean, it feels like even when they were making the playoffs for those last few years on their big old streak they had there, it feels like they were just losing in the first round every year, so they kind of had to rebuild. And ever since like that time, it doesn't feel like they've had stability up the middle, but definitely with Dylan Larkin locked up long term, it feels like it's a little bit, okay, now build around him.
Yeah, for sure. They got something that looks good coming up with the prospects, the players they have now. So it's going to be exciting to see what happens when they get the rest of the team sorted out and the extensions and everything figured out. But it's going to be fun to watch. Now, with our second story here, the trade we have is Edmonton Oilers get their star defenseman. Now, we've been talking about it. The Oilers have been looking for this defenseman, and they finally got him. They've acquired Mattias Ekholm and a 6th-round pick from the Nashville Predators for Tyson Barrie, Reed Schaefer, a 2023 first, and a 2024 fourth. Now, I do like this trade for the Nashville Predators, for the Edmonton Oilers, and both teams actually. Edmonton gets that guy they've been looking for to sit, can flop around with Darnell and Nurse on first and second line, but Nashville also gets a big haul in return. And from what they've got with the trade with Jeannot, they're bestsellers now. It's confirmed. They have nothing to lose at this point. They're going to get rid of what they can. Obviously, they're not going to get rid of guys like probably UC Saros, Roman Josi, just to name a few names. But getting rid of Ekholm with his age, going to a team that is looking for a defenseman and getting the return you can get, I like the deal. And I'll pull up Ekholm's chart here. He does 78% WAR, 92 defense, which is absolutely fantastic. Edmonton is not lacking in the offense whatsoever, so they can only add to their defense, and that's what they did in this trade, and I love the deal. What do you think, Noah?
I'm a little bit disappointed that it's not Erik Karlsson, if I'm being... the package that they sent over for Ekholm, it seems like a lot in my eyes. I'm going to use this for a lot of things. Like Patrick Kane got a 2nd and a 4th round pick, I think it was, or a 3rd round pick. And this is what you're sending over for Mattias Ekholm. It doesn't really make sense for me. In terms of fit, love it. Absolutely love it. He can play, like you said, behind Darnell Nurse, and he can kind of slide in there wherever in their top 4, and it's a phenomenal fit over there, and he helps them so much on the playoff run.
I'm just gonna touch on what you were saying about the Patrick Kane return being a lot less than what Ekholm's return was. I think the factor there was the fact that both teams knew that Patrick Kane wasn't going to go anywhere else. So either
fair, yeah, that's fair.
You give up what the Rangers are asking for, or you give up what the Rangers are asking for whatever you're willing to give, or you give up nothing at all. Patrick Kane doesn't stay. Maybe he does stay, but you won't get anything for him. And I think if Patrick Kane stays, that's worse for the Blackhawks because you don't get
something from him, yeah.
Anything for the future. So I think that's the reason behind that. But as for Ekholm fitting in Edmonton, I think it's a great fit because I'm willing to sacrifice Tyson Berry's defense or Tyson Berry's offense, excuse me, for Ekholm's defense. Whereas you got McDavid, Draisaitl, you've got all those guys up there having career years. Even Connor McDavid is going to have a career year, so that's saying something. Everyone's running the mill in offense, and you don't need that on the point when you got Evan Bouchard coming up. You got other guys that can put up points on the blue line, and Evan Bouchard's going to get better, I think. In my opinion, Evan Bouchard's a pretty good offensive defenseman. He's going to be.
I agree with you, absolutely.
So I think Ekholm is definitely what the Oilers needed on the blue line.
Yeah, for sure. Now, this is their left side here. It's Darnell Nurse, Mattias Ekholm, and Philip Broberg. That is fantastic. The right side, though, is Cody Ceci, Evan Bouchard, and Brett Kulak. And these guys are playing good on the right side, but they still just don't have that stud number one right pairing guy. If they have that, I think their defense would be fantastic. There would be no need to really make any changes other than that. But Edmonton would have to do some workarounds for things that they would have to be able to do to get that guy. So, I mean, this may be it after the deadline for them, but I would like to see them add another right defenseman if I'm an Edmonton fan, just to get that piece that they need to go the extra step in the playoffs. Because we know that the West is going to be good, even though the East is going to be better. So if they get the Stanley Cup final, they're going to need a lot to be able to get past those elite Eastern Conference teams. As well as, what I was talking about, the Nashville picks, the returns that they've gotten is just absolutely incredible for these. These are their picks in the next 3 years in the first 5 rounds. It's plentiful. They probably don't even need to keep all these if they don't want to. They could probably move one for another trade, keep another younger guy. So I do believe that the Nashville Predators put themselves in a very good situation in this sequence of a trade deadline. So it's something to keep an eye on as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're cleaning the house for Barry Trotz now. He'll be end of June, I think it is. So I mean, shipping off those guys makes total sense for him.
Yeah, giving him a fresh start. It's gonna be exciting to watch too, because Barry Trotz we know is a good coach, and excited to see what he does as GM.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Yep. And now with the second trade that we have here that happened yesterday is the Los Angeles Kings trade for Gavrikov and Korpisalo. Now we've had Gavrikov also on a few of our lists recently, and we didn't really sure where he was going because he was linked to Boston, but as we know they got Orlov, and then it just happened to everybody seemed to go somewhere else before Gavrikov even got a chance to. But now he went to ended up in LA. So I mean, does that mean Chychrun's not going? We'll have to see too. But this trade it's a bit interesting. It's Columbus receives Jonathan Quick, a 2023 conditional first, a 2024 third, for Vladislav Gavrikov and Joonas Korpisalo. And that first round pick conditions are if the Kings make the playoffs, it's a first, but if they miss, it's 2 seconds in 2023 and 2024. So this one's a bit odd, because we know the Kings have a lot of goalies, but Korpisalo, it will be their best now, but doing Quick a bit dirty. On his final year of his contract, they're probably going to make the playoffs, go on probably his last playoff run, and then getting sent to Columbus. I don't know about that. I've heard he wasn't happy about that. So it's a bit questionable, but I mean, yeah. that pick, the Gavrikov trade does definitely add to their defense, which is now excellent. I mean, there's nothing I would really change on this right now. What do you think, Noah?
Again, I feel like I'm a broken record here, but I'm a little bit disappointed that they didn't get Jacob Chychrun. I absolutely love Jacob Chychrun over there in LA. Like I said, I think he would fit in so well. He could get power play minutes. I mean, I love Jacob Chychrun, but again, I'm really, really overwhelmed at the return for Gavrikov. The fact that he come in as a first and a third round pick. I mean, you'll see Jonathan Quick, Korpisalo. Yeah, that's kind of just 2 goalies kind of thrown in for a goalie swap. But essentially, it's a first and a third round pick for Gavrikov, and that just absolutely mind boggles me.
Yeah, I gotta say I like the move for LA absolutely, but because Gavrikov he's gonna slot right in there probably on the second pair there in LA, and obviously Korpisalo is better than any goal they have right now, so I like that move, but I gotta say the Kings management lost my respect with this move. I just can't see the logic here. If you're gonna if you look at teams in the past who are going to trade a star player that has been not necessarily a star anymore, but a guy that's been a franchise guy for them the past over a decade. like Jonathan Quick has. He won them their only 2 Stanley Cups. And now, without consulting him, you move him to Ohio in the final year of his contract. Like that's not a diss on Columbus. I'm just saying, like, why would you not consult him first? The guy is a LA King legend. He won them their 2 first cups as the goalie. Like, he played phenomenal. And I just don't I don't see the logic behind the treatment of Jonathan Quick here, and he's not happy, and he has a good reason.
Yeah, I got a quote here as well from Guillermo
That's what I was going to talk about.
He says he's been in touch with Jonathan Quick's reps because Quick is not happy. Now, like, it's going to be, and here's the Cervalli tweet as well. It says, to say Jonathan Quick is unhappy with the trade, I'm told is an understatement. The entire LA Kings team was down a bit after the game, a win which you could understandably see at Anze Kopitar's face after a 4-goal night. A guy's not sad after a 4-goal night, so something has to be done for that to happen. Like, he has to be shipped to a buyer that's going on a deep playoff run that wants an extra goalie, possibly could start, who is a safe starter if that it comes to that, if it must happen. So I think that he should be flipped. There's no reason for Columbus to keep him. Send him to somewhere where he has a chance on the final year of his deal, because we don't know if he's going to retire after this year or not. He probably won't. He might sign a 1 year somewhere. But give him that last opportunity if it is his last chance, for sure. Because, I mean, Jonathan Quick, like you said, Nick, is a franchise legend for LA. And he deserves at least one last playoff run before it's all over, if it does come to that after the end of the season. So,
just one thing. Imagine us in 2014 thinking in 2023 Jonathan Quick and Patrick Kane are both going to be traded in the same day. It's I don't know, it kind of screws with your head a little bit, because I mean they've been guys, you know, that we kind of watched when we were growing up, and you know they were kind of the pillars of the NHL, and you know they're guys that we all looked up to, and now they're here moving around. It's crazy. It makes us feel old.
It certainly does. Yeah. That's all we got for this video, guys. So if you want to see more and you like the content, make sure to subscribe, because we're going to have content all throughout the season. Off-season, draft, trade deadline, you name it. So we hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching.